Okay, well, continuing along in our series here, today we're going to be going through two chapters, and we're only going to do one assignment per chapter. The reason being is it's just text. If anybody's used like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, they're fairly familiar with the idea of word processors, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But we're going to cover multi-line text through chapter 9 and then single line through chapter 10. And so let's get into it. It's going to be exercise 7 today. It's a lot of notational stuff. So I went ahead and typed this up because it would be pretty painful to sit and watch me type all this very technical stuff. We've got a lot of symbols and whatnot. But what the idea is, we're going to do the mtext command. We're going to type these notes up, and we're going to use the Romans font for the text style. The heading height is 6, and the regular text height is 3. So everything below notes is 3 millimeters. This is 6. We'll do it on the metric template. We'll change the font. So let's get into it. All right, so I've got it typed up. A few things I do want to note is this is multi-line, so you can either click the button up here, or you can type in mtext. And when you go to do it, it's going to prompt you to specify a corner. For this one, we do have to choose a height. So let's just go ahead and choose the height down here. And then, you can technically move your mouse around and like pick it, or you can just, type in the value. So I'm going to do 3, which is everything but the header. And then I'll just choose a random size. Let's do about like this. And so in here, you would start typing. You would have like notes, and you type in one space and then type. And so what it's going to do right there is immediately try to indent that. As you can see, it makes space. That's fine. I mean, I love it, but technically the way it wants us to do it, it doesn't want that. So you can just hit backspace and it'll jump back to where it should be. And once you do that a time or two, I don't think you really have to bother with that. So yeah. So aside from that, it's pretty straightforward. The one thing I need to mention though is these symbols. You may or may not be familiar, but like if we were to do the 1.5 degrees, you can go up here and hit symbol. You might be able to find it. In this case, you could. It's got the hotkey. It also may not be on here for something one day when you're typing. And if that happens, you hit other and you can choose it from here. Often the GDT section will have all of the special ones you may need, like the square shape or concentric or whatever. A lot of those are in here, and you could just click them and hit select, copy, and then technically you could just go back and paste it in, right? But that's kind of lame how it comes out. So what I like to do is just type in what you see in the shortcut. So like for degrees, we could do %D. So I'm going to type that now, %D, and there you go. And so it's coming in goofy, and that's because technically I'm on a GDT font. So what I'm going to do is just type in a space, and there we go. It comes in a little bigger. The GDT font likes to make everything look really small. So if you don't have to, go through a special way to get it, don't. And so all we've got here that you don't know how to put in would be the % and the plus or minus. And so plus or minus is also up here, and it's just %P. So that makes that one. So keep that in mind. Now I'm just going to go through and edit this. Now say for whatever reason when you set your height it was wrong originally, you can always change it after. So like you could select everything and choose whatever. Mine's already at 3, but I'm going to choose my note and change that to 6. And then let's see, what else are we missing? Yep. So other than typing all this and filling it out, we need to change the font as well. So I can click out to close the box. And then, whatever font you're editing, for me, it's GNTC metric. I can just hit the, on the annotate tab, the drop down for text, I can hit the little arrow and that pops out the text style editor. And I can go and change the font name here to be Romans. Well, it's just Romans, actually, just Romans. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I barely missed it. So sad. Okay, so just Romans. And so now when I hit apply and close, it updates. And now, you've got, if you've typed it all up and you're where I'm at, you've got, something that looks just about like that one. I did add double spacing in here because I thought it looked better, but I think it was just because of that font. So like it actually is single space. And you may be wondering also how I got these guys to be so perfectly aligned. Well, the answer is, now you can tell, I actually was just spacing it out to try to make it look good. Unfortunately now, with this font, you can't really make it even. So it looks like what they did was they had it come a little bit before to about right there. Not perfect, but you know. Huh. Yep, spacing is very weird with some fonts, as you can see. So we've got double spacing here and just a single space between these. Sorry about that. I tried to make it look better on the front end, and just a weird font. But yep, so that's that one. Exercise 7. So now, let's go ahead and jump to chapter 10 and look at the single line exercise. Single line text, additional text tools. And this one, again, I went ahead and typed everything up, but it's a lot more hands-on. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to create several different text styles, and then we'll apply them as we go. Wait for it. I think I just passed it, actually. Yep, okay. Exercise 2. Okay, and so create text styles according to the list shown. Use the text command, which means single line command. And the appropriate text style to type the text shown. Use a 1/4 inch unit. Text height, save the drawing as P10.2. I said inch because we're going to use inch. So, but it's a little bit different, you know. So you can type in text, you can click single line, either or, but you have to choose a start point and then choose a rotation. You need to go to the right. If you go anywhere but there, like you go straight down and you type in, you click out, you hit escape, it rotates. So make sure you click and then move to the right and click. And then you can type whatever. And so you actually can't really edit the font here. If you choose a drop down, it just errors. It's all going to be heavily controlled by the dimension styles. And so that's why this entire exercise is based on setting them up. And so from the template, you know, if you typed yours up, I hope that you made sure to put the height. I made sure on mine to change my text style to be 0.25 height before editing. That way when I go and edit these, you can clearly see it says 0.25, right? But if you didn't, you can try copying the info over and pasting it into a new single line, but you can't get away with making these modifications on multi-line. I think some of them you can, to be fair. In fact, this guy, well, you'll see in a little bit, but this guy's going to be tricky. It's actually going to end up being multi-line. And so let's just go ahead and start making them. We're going to need a style for each. Instead of having this guy on the right, I've just got it below here, and then we'll move it later. But basically, we're going to need one for each row. So I'm just going to duplicate my base one. In my case, it's GNTC template, the Imperial one. And I'll hit new. I'm just going to call it row 1. No need to get crazy with it. And so essentially I'm matching this, so it's going to be Arial. Expand the width by 3, so we'll change the width factor to 3. Oh, we would if I hit the right button. So we'll change it to 3. And so down here you can see the preview is looking kind of crazy. So we'll go ahead and close that, and we'll change this to be Arial, or row 1, which is the Arial. And so now you see it's huge, right? And so we can go back, make another one, and you can do them all at once if you want. I think it's kind of cool to see them update in real time, so I'm just going to do one at a time and go back and forth. So the next one is monotext. There we go. And slant to the left. So that's going to be this oblique angle, -30. I'll hit apply. Oh, actually, I will not hit apply. I forgot to hit new. No, I don't want to save changes. No. I accidentally changed the original, so make sure you don't too. All right, and so I'll hit apply for this guy. And just to make sure. Ugh, disgusting. I'm just going to close it. I don't want to lose anything. So I'm going to go back to this guy. Yes. And it looks normal. Okay. All good there. Nice. Change it to row 2, and now it slants. I'm going to change this back to GNTC Imperial. The reason it keeps prompting is because it's the active one, the active style. And so it's easier if you leave it on the original. And so I'm going to, well, actually, I'm just going to copy the original here. Oh my God. It's going to prompt every time now. Row 3. Row 3 is going to be Romans and then slant to the right. So 30. And Romans. There we go. All right, so we'll hit apply and close. Change this dude here. We'll make another one. This one's going to be Roman D. So row 4. And it is just backwards, so we can hit that box, close, bam. Now, granted, you know, because, you know, you change the direction, the point's over here. So I'm just going to move it back this way. Now, you may be thinking, how do you have these aligned? Well, I don't. To be honest, I just made one and I copied it and moved it down an inch at a time. But if you want them to be perfectly spaced and all that, you could technically draw like a straight line. You could draw another line here. You could do like an offset of, well, let's do 1. You know, that's what I did, right? So you could do 1. I don't think I typed 1. Yeah, 1. Not sure what happened there. But, you know, so you could do that. You could copy and paste a bunch of those, and then you could grab the grips, you know, move that little point there. And that makes them pretty cool. But honestly, there's no good way to go about it. So I don't really care that they're perfectly aligned, but that's how you would if you really needed to. Okay, so this guy. I mentioned you couldn't do this one. You can do part of it, but the problem is, like, you can't. So when you edit a text like this, it doesn't prompt like a text editor, right? And so technically, I'm going to open up our chapter 9 assignment, which I was actually already on. If you look at like a multi-line, if you edit multi-line, it allows you to do like bold and stuff like that pretty easy. And so there's an option here for under and over. But that option's not available with single line. And so you technically can't make this. You can do the dimension style, but you can't actually make the whole thing through the normal method with single line. So we actually have to make a multi-line for it. And we'll do the height, 0.25. Make it arbitrarily long. We're just going to paste that in. So it came in on 4, which is fine. I'm just going to delete this dude. We'll kind of eyeball it here. That's pretty close. Okay, and so what we can do is we can go ahead and make a row 5. We can set it up, and then we'll edit the actual text, put the under and over on it. So this one is italic with 2 C's, row 5. Feel free to name these styles what you want. You know, obviously, after this assignment, you're just going to use the ones already built into the template. You're not going to be making a million, so it doesn't have to be like perfectly named. We're just trying to show we can do things, right? So italic with 2 C's. Where are we at? Italic. Okay. So that's it. So we can just hit apply, close, change this one to row 5. Bam. Okay. Just double click it. Control A to select all. And then we can hit under and over. Bam. Lovely. Okay. Now this is where they kind of like make a deviation. So the rest of them have been like the description of what it is. But this, we're just changing the font. Use 16 penny nails at 10 inches on center. Somebody's talking about wood, basically, is what that boils down to. So you can omit most of that. And I'm going to use one of these other ones. Ugh. How is it still prompting to save? I am going to find the one that has Romans S already. So, it's really going to prompt me every time. So I'm going to hit new. That's row 6. I had to count them. And so now we've got Romans as a default. We can just take off the oblique angle. And that's actually it for that one. So we'll change this one to row 6. All right, we'll make another one, Roman T. I'm gonna copy it from the original. Where are we at? Romant. There we go. All right, so I can just hit apply and close. And last but not least will be the vertical one. Now this one's actually, pretty unique. So we'll make one final one, row 8, and it is Roman C. And then you just choose vertical. I'm gonna scroll down here to find it. And so yeah, now you've got a little vertical guy down here. Notice the hyphen still stays sideways. It's kind of an interesting thing. I'm gonna eyeball this. It comes in roughly in the exercise underneath the W. This looks about right. And so if you go back and look at this guy, it's pretty darn similar. I would say move it to the center of the page, of course, because it's a little off, but looks good. Okay. There's really not much to these. I know that, if you're going to actually be working with these, you're really never going to use center line or single line. You're always going to use multi, just because you really can't beat the ability to do the justifications. That's where it's at. This whole text editor, it's a nice to have. So, if you're doing something niche like this with setting up special text styles, by all means, you'll be using single line, but it's not super pertinent to know this. As long as you know how to use multi-line, you can pretty much get by. But if anybody's having any questions about this, just let me know.